Thank you. Good morning. The time is 11:31. Therefore, I reconvene the meeting. I'm Councillor Rogers and I'm the chair of this licensing subcommittee meeting. To introduce everyone who is present at this remote meeting, I would kindly ask that you confirm your attendance and your role or job title when I say your name. Councillor Ara.
Councillor for Central Harbour in Ramsgate.
Councillor Wing.
Councillor for Central Harbour in Ramsgate.
Ms Phillips.
Jennifer Phillips, the Principal Litigation Lawyer for Thanet Council.
Mr Clapson.
Democratic Services Officer, James Clapson.
Mr Brown.
He doesn't seem to be here.
Okay. Ms Brock.
Alison Brock, Technical Support Manager.
Ms Stocker.
No.
PC Gregg.
No.
Oh. Ms Tolley.
Yes, Jo Fulton Tolley, owner of Skin Beauty and Aesthetics in Margate.
Mr Haddon. No. And Miss Wilcox. No. Have I missed anyone present here today?
No, I think that's it. Thanks, Chair.
If you have technical difficulties during the meeting, then please contact Katie, the Democratic Services Officer on call, who will attempt to assist you. She will put her phone number in the chat function. Agenda item 4, application for a new club premises certificate, the Gold Room VIP Private Club. I call upon Ms Phillips, the Council's Principal Litigation Solicitor, to explain to the parties the procedure that we will be taking during this hearing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning. I would like everyone present to know that the decisions made by the subcommittee are made in accordance with the Licensing Act 2003 and are based on the information presented in this agenda, together with any verbal submissions that are being made today. Decisions of the subcommittee are not politically based. This subcommittee must act impartially and offer a fair and unbiased hearing of today's application. We are here to consider the application for a new premises certificate for the Gold Room VIP Private Club situated at 7 High Street, Margate, Kent, CT9 1DL, under Section 17 of the Licensing Act 2003. The applicant has applied for a new club premises certificate to supply alcohol on the premises along with live and recorded music, and 2 representations have been made in relation to the application, and also the application includes the operating hours between 9 AM and 10 PM. And we will hear the parties in the following order: the licensing officer first, and then the applicant for the premises certificate, and then followed by any representations. Each party has up to 15 minutes to make its presentation, and this includes any witness called. And during your presentation, you will not be allowed to introduce new evidence at this stage than has been provided in the documentation that you have provided to the committee thus far. Following each presentation, the members of the subcommittee may ask questions of each party or their representative or any witnesses, and there is no time limit for the members' questions. There is no automatic right for the parties to question one another except with permission. And at the end of the proceedings, each party will have 5 minutes to make a closing statement in the following order: the applicant for the license and any representatives, and the licensing authority. Please note to ensure that this virtual meeting runs smoothly. So therefore we ask that only one individual speak at a time. Any person speaking must be permitted to finish what they're saying without interrupting. And the chair will direct further on that procedure. The meeting will then adjourn for the subcommittee to consider its decision. When we adjourn, the subcommittee members, the legal officer, myself, and the clerk shall leave the virtual meeting. And if you'd like to hear the decision of the subcommittee, I advise that the deliberations will take approximately 30 minutes, from the time of the adjournment. You can either remain in the virtual meeting during this time, or you can use the link again to re-access the meeting. If you do decide to wait in the virtual meeting room, please turn off your cameras and microphones to ensure your privacy, as the recording will continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. I would like to stress the importance of following the hearing procedure, and that there will be an opportunity for all parties to make a final presentation after questioning. Therefore, I would advise all present to please follow the procedure and to respect those speaking by not interrupting or speaking over others. If people do interrupt or speak over others, I, as chairman, will ask them to refrain from doing so. If they continue to do so after my warning, then that individual could face being asked to leave the meeting. Could the licensing officer please present their report?
Morning, everyone. This application is for a club premises certificate at 7 High Street, Margate. The application was advertised as it should be, and we received 2 representations. These are attached at Annex 3. I've also done a summary of the hours and activities requested. These are at Annex 2. When we receive representations, we try and negotiate between the 2 parties to try and come to some agreement, obviously to stop it going this far. And the applicant replied to the comments from the objections. These are attached to Annex 4, and the reply from one of the objectors is also attached to Annex 5. Annex 6 has the comments of the Environmental Health Department, and the fire service have inspected the premises and they have no objections, and that's at Annex 6. And then at Annex 8, we've got 2 emails in support of the application. The committee's decision is requested. Thank you.
Thank you. Would the applicant please present their application? Sorry, can you unmute your microphone?
Aha, can you hear me?
I can.
Wonderful. Okay, so my name is Jo Fulton-Tolley. I'm a business developer, an entrepreneur, and a crisis manager of over 25 years in the beauty, retail, leisure, and industries as a whole. I'm currently the owner here at Home Scheme Margate and Manzone. My career has taken me all over the south of England and into London, and I've been an active part of the local community, and I'm passionate about the local community. I've been involved in many setups of local businesses in consultation fashion, including Monks Hill Farm and Blue Wave Gym, which is local. And I've worked behind the bars at Barnacles and also as far back as Bradstone Mill in the late 90s. My personal focus on business is to offer something extra at the highest standard possible. I often feel that this particular industry that I'm in, the hair and beauty industry, being unregulated, can fail its responsibilities. And it's not something that I aspire to be. I aspire to be more than that. Which is why the VIP standard is so important. I've already demonstrated how serious I am about business and about standards. I have a great relationship with TDC licensing, and I currently have a needle premises license in the building. My aim for Hair and Skin is to become an experience, not just a haircut, and become part of the centre of the community. I am not a discount brand. I don't stack them high and get into high profits. I'm an affordable luxury brand, and I have a demographic of client here that are ladies and gentlemen between 40s and 50s and to the late 60s. We even have babies in the 90s. I want to provide my regular clients with something extra, and so the VIP Club was born. The clients here are invited to join the club, which entitles them to discount on retail products and exclusive invitations to promotions and events. These are usually circulated around things like product launches or new treatments that we're providing within the business. And we already have had and provided entertainment evenings over the last year, last 2 years, where people can come and experience events. And we have our first charity event, which is part of our VIP club, which is planned in June 2022. In line with my very high standards, I have to take my responsibility very seriously as a professional and in business. And I decided, because we wanted to serve alcohol to our clients while they're in the business having treatments, that I wanted to have a certificate, club premises certificate, and to make sure that we're observing the 4 key licensing objectives. I would like to point out at this time that the objections that have been raised by the local resident, I feel that they're presuming that we are entertaining a proprietary club functioning for profit, and therefore their concerns are not in line with the certificate that I have applied for. I will stipulate again that we are not a profit-making club, and we are not going to be providing live clubbing events. We are an addition and a service and a reward for our loyal clients. I am in the salon today because there is a rumour circulating that I am converting the basement of my premises into a club. So if there is any questions that anybody would like to ask later, I can actually take you around the premises.
Thank you. Does the licensing officer have any questions for the applicant?
No, Chairman, it seems quite obvious to us from the application that this isn't for a nightclub or any form of club. It is purely to enhance people's experience at the premises.
Thank you. Does the Environmental Protection Officer have any questions for the applicant?
He's not here because he didn't have any major concerns.
Okay, thank you. Do the members of the public have any questions for the applicant? No? Right, yeah.
Is this one of the objectives or not?
Yes. Do you have any questions for the applicant?
I just want to, at one stage, I'd like to just put my objections forward.
Yes. Is that a question, or do you want to? No question.
No.
Does the applicant have any? Oh no, that's the police. They're not here. Do the Environmental Protection Officers have any questions for the applicant?
No, they had no concerns.
Do the members of the committee? Oh no, that's police again. Would the Environmental Protection Officers please present their case? No?
I think we need to ask the committee if they have any questions for the applicant.
All right.
Yes, please, Chair. Joe, I just want to clear up one or two things. So will the alcohol be sold to people, or is it a sort of a freebie as part of a treatment? And when I read the application, you obviously you'll have your clients, your individual clients coming in, but then you seem to be running some workshops. So some beauty workshops, bringing people in and looking at products.
I'm going to interject there because I think there's some confusion. So, first of all, the service of alcohol is only for club members. So, in order to be a club member, you have to be a client within my salon. The reason I've applied for a club premises certificate is because I do not want members of the public in my salon. They are entitled to one free measured drink during their stay. If they're having a treatment, whatever that might be. If they would like an extra drink, those drinks are charged for. And that's partly because I want to make sure that we're regulating what is coming out alcohol-wise. Although, obviously, I don't expect anybody to have more than one drink.
No, yeah.
There is, and also, if you're just a normal client that's coming into the salon, you're not entitled to any alcohol. You have to be a club. Have to be a club member, you have to have joined, you have to have gone through our rules in order to be able to become a club member. Now then, aside from that, I have ideas that I would like to run promotional events. We do run promotional events anyway in this industry, but obviously I'd like to be able to serve light refreshments and at these little events. These events usually amount to about 10 people, and they are specifically invited, so that you would only be invited if you're part of the VIP Club, and you would come and attend a workshop. So what a workshop means is it might be that we have a product that's been released, and the therapist demonstrates that product with a group attending to observe it, and then they might experience something within that time, and they might be served some refreshments. So they're separate things. I'd also like to point out that because of this community feel that I'm trying to develop, I would like to have something that maybe a little cinema evening where I would invite my clients to come along and watch maybe a film with us and enjoy something that's a little bit different outside of that. So that might be either within our operating hours or slightly outside of our normal hair and skin operating hours, but would be within our licensed operating hours. Does that help clear up the difference?
That does. Thank you.
Yes, please, Chair.
Yes, Councillor Ora.
Yes, Joe, I'm a little bit confused. So when you are saying that you're offering free drinks, are your clients, your members who are coming into the club, do they need to have the treatment to receive these free drinks, or can any of your members come and have drinks with you?
So as the club rules stipulate, if you are a club member, you have to be a club member to be served alcohol. That's the first point. If you are attending an appointment, so if you're having a hair appointment or beauty appointment, you are a club member, you can have 1 free glass of alcohol. If you're staying a little longer than that, because I do have a social area within my salon, which is not operational at the moment because of COVID, but it will be long term. If they want to stay and sit and have a chat, they can, and they can have another glass of alcohol. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create an experience where they don't feel they've got to rush off, but they feel like they're part of this experience. That's one thing. We can run a facility where if they are a club member, they can call in advance if they're in town, and they can ask if they can come sit in our garden or sit within our social area. We have one upstairs that I'm sitting at and one downstairs, and they can sit and have a glass of wine with us, or they could. And at this point, because they're coming in outside of their treatment times, we would need to purchase that alcohol. And that alcohol is also restricted to what each member is entitled to. And that's because of timings and situation at the moment, and also because we want to make sure we're regulating. You cannot bring in anybody else unless they are a guest. You can only bring in one guest. They have to be signed in. And I also have a limit to how many people that I will allow into the building outside of treatment time.
So do you have the limit number?
Yes. So my total in the building is 50.
50.
That's my own personal limit. I don't have to make a limit, but that is my personal limit.
Thank you.
I would also point out that I'm a very large building.
Was that 50? What, 50 as opposed to 15? Thank you.
Yes.
Do the councillors have any other questions before we move on? No? Thank you. This is the point of the meeting which the members of the public get to make their representations. Mr. Haddon, please can you make your representation?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. Okay, I'm representing the immediate neighbouring properties. I'm the leaseholder of number 11 High Street, which runs the entire length above 7 to 10 High Street, the shops below. And I'm also the co-owner of the residential properties adjacent to this application. And that, I fear, is where the issue is. I've spent a lot of money on building a home down there. We've got our private garden. We've been living there for many, many years. And the only peace and quiet we actually get being in the old town is in the rear garden, because the front is occupied by the parade and there's noises everywhere else. And we've enjoyed this for a long, long time, living adjacent to the offices and adjacent to a successful hairdresser, which was in the location of number 7 for the past 20 years, which is now a combined hair and beauty salon. I took on the property number 11 High Street because it's a large office, and developed a software development organization from there where I employ people. And the reason for doing that is because it was defined as an office above and shop/retail below. So I knew I'd be able to enjoy the relative peace and quiet that an IT company needs. The other issue is that the outside area of the building, the total building, is for storage and also acts as a fire escape route for the above offices number 11, which if we house in 6 to 10 people is an important requirement. And this is in my office lease. The only exit from the rear of that premises, including number 7's, is up a very steep vertical wooden staircase. That will not take more than one person at a time, and you have to be very agile to use it. Having groups of people, however small, and in this case, up to 50, drinking and gathering in the rear area or having to use the rear area in case of any issue will impede the leases of the complex 7 to 11 and endanger the staff and everyone. After sunset, the exit area is badly lit. This is another health and safety issue that needs to be resolved by both leaseholders and the landlords. The applicant mentions film evenings and events for mums and children, and this makes it even more of a concern. To allow this to be blocked off and used as a drinking area possesses health and safety risks and needs an alteration to the leases for the office. Number 7 is also surrounded by buildings that are residential, as I've mentioned in my opening statement. Drinking outside and allowing late night films and stuff is to act as a club, however well controlled, is detrimental to our sort of peace and sort of requirements of a residential place. We don't need to add direct and close-up noise and disturbances to the garden areas of both number 5 and number 20. Because it also, depending on the hours, will be a disturbance to the office workers and is another public nuisance. No one can control drinking quantities, moreover outside smoking and noise. And we all know that a small group can make a lot of noise, so a large group can make an exceptional amount of noise. Market Street car park is already a major problem area for drinkers using them as alfresco toilets and a dump ground. And this shares a fence with number 7 to 11 High Street. The problem is that when drinking is allowed, the business owners lock up and go home, leaving us residents and the council to clean up every day. And I say this in the light that the applicant is saying, you know, it's an extension to their health and beauty salon, although I can't see why drinking comes into it. But then in the next breath, there's a mention of soul weekends and pride weekends as a reason for a late license. I just understand what's that got to do with hair and beauty establishment. You know, to open a club in the same premises of a shop is not the way to supplement income to the detriment of the surrounding residents.
Mr. Haddon, you're on mute.
Sorry, am I back again?
Yes.
Don't know how. When did I go on mute? So
2 minutes. 2 minutes. Minute.
Yeah, I take exception to be told that families should not be living in the old town, as there are hundreds of families living in the old town. And it's purely the imbalance of drinking establishments that is the problem, not the residents having purchased extensive properties and trying to live normal and peaceful lives. The real concern is the opening hours, making use of the outside areas that border on the private residence and the proper gardens of number 20 and number 5. And now we're hearing people, up to 50 people. It's a major worry and definitely a nuisance to our private living. Thank you.
Thank you. Does the applicant have any questions?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Not so much questions, but just to stipulate again that on a normal working day within this busy salon, we can have up to 30 people here, and nobody's made any complaint about noise, and that it's not a regular occurrence where there would be up to 50 people here. It's an irregular activity, which is enhancing our business. And also there was a mention of children. This is an adult-only venue. We don't have children here unless they're a haircut, and they wouldn't be part of anything that was deemed to be harmful to them at all.
Thank you. Do members of the committee have any questions? No. We don't have Miss Wilcox here, do we? No.
No, she hasn't joined us. Okay, so I think we're to the summing up stage.
Yes, I think we are. I would now like to ask each party to sum up and make final representations. Mr. Haddon, would you like to sum up?
Yes, thank you. So, in summary, I'm very concerned about the afternoon operating hours of being able to serve, drink and entertain people, because it will certainly affect the residents. The in hours, obviously, there's a potential effect into the offices above. We've got to very carefully look at those hours. We've got to very carefully look at the knock-on effect of having the public in a back garden drinking because of the noise and the potential smoking and other disturbances, and look at the number of people gathering in an area that is effectively a common parts area to the entire premises, and an escape route at the rear. There's an extreme close proximity to the outside area of this location. We share common garden walls with number 20 and number 5, and of course quiet offices above at number 7, and I'd like these issues to be taken into account on behalf of the workers at number 11 and the residents at number 25 and in the surrounding area, to be quite honest. And not just us, we've just gone out of our way to try and find a balance for all this drinking in the immediate area. Thank you.
Thank you. Would the applicant like to sum up now, please?
Yeah, so I think that it's important to reiterate again that this is not a club based for profit. It's a non-profit making club. The residents will all notice no difference to the current trading at all. It is a non-smoking venue. We do not prioritise alcohol as our selling point. After hours, we will only be open our normal salon opening hours, which are within the operating hours of the licence, but I have applied for a later licence up till 10 p.m. if we use that licence for additional events. And overall, we're very responsible, aware of our environment, aware of our neighbours, and we will not have any intentions whatsoever in causing any nuisance. And at the moment, all of this objection is only based on presumption. It's not actually based on any factual evidence. And so I think that it would only be right for me to prove that I'm able to maintain private and maintain our good relationships with the surrounding area.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The members of the subcommittee will now leave this meeting, along with the council's legal representative, to deliberate this matter in private. We shall resume here to deliver a verdict in 30 minutes' time. Whilst we leave the meeting, I will ask the Democratic Service Officer to explain the retiring process. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. So, as the Chairman said, we will be meeting back here at 12:30. So you can either stay in this meeting and put your microphone and video on mute and turn your video off, or you can choose to leave the meeting entirely and come back using the same link as you used to log into this meeting initially. So we'll see you back here at 12:30 for the decision. Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe we should carry on then in that case.
Okay, thank you. I would now like to invite Ms Phillips, the Principal Litigation Solicitor, to read a summary of the subcommittee's determination. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The decision today is as follows. In the application of Joe Tolley for a new premises certificate for the Gold Room VIP private club at 7 High Street, Margate, Kent, CT91DL, the Thanet District Council as the relevant licensing authority, in accordance with Section 12 of the Licensing Act, and upon consideration of the representations made to the committee today, which included the licensing authority in the person of Alison Brock, the applicant, Ms Tolley, and representations made by the member of the public, Robin Haddon, it is the decision of the subcommittee to grant the application, but subject to one condition. In relation to the applicants, which has been made, we've considered the effect of it on the 4 licensing objectives. And we have considered that it doesn't negatively impact the objective of preventing crime and disorder. We've considered that it will not detract from the safety to the public, but in relation to the prevention of a nuisance, we've decided to apply a condition which includes that no live and recorded music or entertainment take place at the back of the premises at any time. And there was no issue in relation to the objective of protecting children from harm. And that's our decision today. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the business for this meeting of the Licensing Subcommittee.
Sorry, could I just clarify, when you say no recorded or live music at the back of the premises, are you meaning outside?
Yes, yes.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Super. Okay, thank you all for your attendance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.